Hi, my YouTube family. This is Melody from Home Garden and Fashion. I thank you so much for being here today. Today, we're going to have a wonderful time together. Hi, I hope all of you are doing awesome. Today, I'm going to do a story, and the story is written by me, read by me. The name of the story is The Bitter Truth. Mr. Joshi was waiting in the train station for about an hour eagerly for his one and only son Raju. The train arrived to Mumbai station about 7 p.m., but Raju was not there. He was running late to pick up his father from the train station. Mr. Joshi was tired and hungry since he came from the village and traveled 2 days in the train. He did not see his son for over 3 years, so he was very worried that he might not recognize even if he sees. Then around at 8:30 p.m., a man came and called him dad. And then Mr. Joshi looked in the back and was Raju was waving at him. So he was very happy to see him. And then they had to walk about long distance, many stairs, a long bridge. So Raju was out of breath while getting up on the bridge. Raju was in his 60s and Mr. Joshi was 86 years old. And Raju was breathless and tired climbing those endless steps of the long bridge. Mr. Joshi was just doing fine at the age of 86. Last 3 years, Mr. Joshi lived totally alone after Mrs. Joshi passed away. Mr. Joshi asked his son, "How is your daughter, my granddaughter, and my grandson, and my daughter-in-law doing?" And Raju replied that everybody is fine. The son lives his own, the daughter is at the college, and their mother, which is Mr. Jos's daughter-in-law, is still working at the hospital. She has night duty. She worked at night. She will be back around 7 or 8 a.m. She leaves home around 8 p.m. Raju's son was in town and he might come to visit. When Mr. Joshi reached to his son's house, he was quite impressed that he raised a good son, even staying in a very poor village. Mr. Joshi is a farmer and he worked on the farm, and sometimes he taught in the school too about farming and how to do farming, how to store food, and everything to do with farming. And he knew his business very well. He's been farming over 60 years, so he knew it, and people came to learn from him about farming, and he was very happy with his animals and his big family home and the farm. And they were happy as a couple, Mr. and Mrs. Joshi and their son and daughter. Daughter was married long time ago, and she was very busy with her family too, and she didn't come that much. And the son used to come once in a while, but he didn't come that much either once he moved to the city and got really busy with his life. And Mr. and Mrs. Joshi went once in a while to visit their children, but they didn't stay that long because the children lived in the cities and they did not like the life in the cities because they were used to the life in the village and they loved that life. So he loved growing food, taking care of his family, home, and the village. He worked day and night to give Raju good education, gave Raju's sister Ellie a good life, and Raju gave Raju a good career, made him a doctor. At first, Raju was working in the hospital as a hospital doctor, village hospital doctor. Then he moved to the city as soon as he got chance, and then he met Remy at the medical college, and after that they got married in a temple in the city. Mr. and Mrs. Joshi was not invited simply because Raju was afraid that his old-fashioned parents may not agree to the wedding with Remy. Remy's parents lived in the city and they were very, very extremely rich and very proud, and Remy most of the time stayed with her parents, and she was living in her father's house, one of the house he gave her and Raju. After marriage, Remy came to Raju's village once 30 years ago, and after that she never visited. She came for a day, but she didn't like that kind of village life. And it was difficult when Raju's mom, Monali, which is Mrs. Joshi, died, because then Mr. Joshi was totally alone. But what kept him, gave him the companionship is his animals, his farm, his work. And the villagers were very kind too. They came and visited him. But villagers had the habit of always asking him about his son and daughter-in-law and asking him why he does not go to visit or why they don't come to visit. So that's why, just to keep the villagers' mouth shut, Mr. Joshi had to come once in a while, like, because Raju and his wife also, not only they didn't go, they didn't even ask their father to come or visit because they were so busy. So Mr. Joshi had to ask again and again if he could visit. So at night at the dinner table, Mr. Joshi ate alone, and there was a servant named Ramu. So Mr. Joshi knew that Ramu was working there for a long time. So he asked that, where is your master? And he said, oh, master came from the hospital and then ate and went to bed, and madam will come early morning, 7:30, 8 o'clock. Then she eats something and goes to bed, and then she wakes up in the evening, 5, 6 o'clock. Then she takes a shower, eat her food, and goes to work. So everybody lives a very routine life where they didn't have any need or any place for Mr. Joshi to. The house was big, but they didn't have the place in their heart. So Mr. Joshi asked Raju about his grandson, Prem, and he said he wanted to meet him. So Mr. Joshi said that Prem went to London and married a British woman, and he lives a little bit far away and in his house, and whenever he comes to visit, he stays in the hotel. He does not stay with his father because his wife does not like to stay with her father-in-law and mother-in-law, so they stay in a hotel, and they have a little boy, 2-year-old cute little boy. So Mr. Joshi wanted to see his grandson, great grandson, but even Mr. Joshi wanted to see his son's daughter, granddaughter, but nothing was possible because everybody was busy and they didn't have time to see him, or they didn't have desire to see. So then Mr. Joshi stayed there a week, and one afternoon, actually, Prem and his wife came, and Mr. Joshi was taking a nap, and that time Raju, his wife, and Prem and his wife, they ate food together, and then evening they left. And by the time Mr. Joshi woke up around 7 p.m., the servant informed him that his grandson and great-grandson was there, but they didn't bother to wake him up. So to this, Mr. Joshi was very much hurt. Next morning, he did not even say anything to his son or the daughter-in-law. He packed his bag and said goodbye to the servant Ramu, and he went home and he hugged him and gave him some money. And the Ram was the only one who actually was happy to see him, was very sad when he left. Rather than that, his son, his daughter-in-law, or his grandson or great-grandson, nobody actually cared for him. So while coming in the train, he thought about a lot about the life at the past and how the family used to be together, and brother, sister, and Mr. Joshi and his wife Monali, they all used to sit on the floor and eat and enjoy. So he thought that that time they didn't have money, they didn't have many things, they didn't have big house, but they had the love and togetherness. But now the son has so much money, so big house, him and his wife, they both are doctors. But what they don't have is they don't have the closeness or the love for each other or time for each other or even desire to see each other, let alone sitting together eating. So he was thinking about a lot of these things, and then it was 2 days of train ride, and then he came home and he loved his neighbors coming and asking him how he was, how everything. And he totally had to lie because he couldn't tell the truth that will bring his prestige, his respect down to the community. And so he started loving his community even much more, especially his animals, his dog, his cow, goat, chicken, and lambs, all the animals that he had. And then after that he lived few years, and then he passed away. And when he passed away, he made a will and he left all his property and everything to that servant Raju, and Raju's servant Ramu, and his family, because while leaving he asked for Ramu's address and all their children and everybody's name. So he mentioned all of the people, and also before leaving he asked Ramu that would it be all right if he goes to his house and visit his family. And Ramu was very happy. He was thrilled that that his boss's father, who he knew for years, would like to come to his home. So when he went to Ramu's home, he saw that he lived in a little cottage and their house need repair, and people had bare minimum, but they were very happy, stayed together. And whatever he had, he gave those little children some sweets and some cloth, and then some money on each kid's hand. But then he had it in his mind that one day he would like to give the house, farm, animals to Ramu, so Ramu can come and take care and work there and everything. He will have to raise his children. And then when he said that I would like to give you advice as your children grow up, keep them with you, helping you, but do not send them far, far away, because when you do that, they really go far, far away and never come back. So this was the story. I hope like it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and I'll see you with many, many more. Bye bye. Hi, thank you so much for being here today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. Thank you. May God bless you all.